Hey, could I practice beating you up? I really should have practiced yesterday. My enemies are gonna come later, and I think it would be really beneficial if I got like a couple practice jabs in before my enemies got here, because I'm not going down today. But I haven't practiced in a pretty long time, and I've forgotten most of the fundamentals, so I was just wondering if maybe I could practice punching your face in different places. I'm gonna practice with the gloves first. Well, the first thing I'm really gonna do is make sure I know exactly what I'm aiming for. And then I'm gonna just ask you to stand still and I'll practice with the gloves. And then after that, I'll try bare knuckle with just some wraps. But I promise, none of what I do to you is gonna, scar you for life or anything like that. I'm not that good yet. But maybe after I practice, I'll be that good. And so I'll be able to scar my enemies for life. I need to teach them a lesson. Anyway, can I practice beating you up, please? Yeah? Okay, cool. Alright, just stay still like that. It looks like your right eye is a little bit higher than your left eye. My eyes are a little bit uneven too. Everyone has a dominant side that's a little bit higher, but that's good for me to take note of because I know that if I do a straight punch, I can aim a little lower. But if I want to do a cross up to your eye, then I'm actually going to aim a little bit higher, you know? Oh, I like to crack my fingers before I punch people, because whenever I punch people and my fingers crack at the same time, it feels nasty. It feels like I'm breaking my fingers or something, even if I'm not, which is really unpleasant for me. I like to know for sure whether I'm cracking or their skull is cracking, so it's important for me to know exactly what's happening. It's gonna be like bam, bam, jab, cross, jab, cross, guard, 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 cross, jab. Jab is when you go straight, I think. The words don't matter in a real fight. Jab. Oh, I have to remember to block. Jab. Cross. I'm gonna move your hair just a little bit. You look a good deal like my enemy, so you're a pretty good model, honestly. I'm gonna put your hair behind your ears because I want to make sure I can see your ears in case I want to grab them. You know, I can grab your ear and pull you to the side, or grab your other ear and pull you to the side. That's a pretty helpful trick up my sleeve. You don't learn ear pulling in Muay Thai class, but you do learn it in stage combat. These gloves are a little bit big for me, but that's because I'm gonna start working out my hand muscles for shooting marbles I like to see how far I can shoot marbles, and so I have a feeling my hand muscles are gonna get a lot bigger pretty soon. Okay, let's see. I'll just practice with my right hand first. My right punches are a little stronger than my left punches because I'm right-handed. I've punched a lot more people with my right hand than my left hand. Slap, 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 slap. I'm not a fan of slapping because it makes too loud of a noise. A good solid punch is nice and thocky, you know? A slap is so slip, slap, slip, slap. It makes me think of a seal clapping its hands, slapping. But punching makes me feel like a horse, a strong horse. Kicking makes me feel even more like a horse, but I don't want to kick. That I have to hide my power level, you know? Punch. Punch. Pull, 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 pull. Have you ever been punched before? Really? You've never been in a fight? Wow. Are you like a really nice person? Do you have any enemies at all? You don't have any enemies. You're either really, really nice or you lie to everyone or something. That's a little bit untrustworthy. It almost makes me want to punch you for real just for being so suspicious. I'm a little bit quick on the draw, I've heard. That's probably why I've accumulated so many enemies. Can you turn your head and look that way for me? Actually, just look at this hand, okay? I'm gonna wiggle my fingers and I want you to look at this hand while I punch. It's coming for ya. Boom. Nice. Boom. Nice. Boom. 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 Punch, punch, punch. Have you ever been bitten before? By a shark? Nom 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 nom. Yeah. That probably hurts more than being punched. Unless it's me punching you. Punch. It's okay though. I'm not going to use my full force on you. You're just my warm-up. You're just my warm-up. Just my practice. If you don't want to get caught in the crossfire tonight, as soon as the moon comes out, just stay outside, okay? For your own safety. I'm gonna put on the other glove and practice with my left hand now. This really is my weak side. I'm not near as good at aiming with this hand as I am with this one. My left hand is like as coordinated as a greyhound. You know, greyhounds, the flippy floppy dogs, they're like flopping all over the place. Kind of like fish out of water, except they're just dogs on land, but they somehow just can never really quite get it right. Punch. I want you to look at the shark's teeth right here, okay? And I want you to remember the time you got bitten by a shark, because I want to see the fear in your eyes. I like seeing the fear in the eyes of my enemies. It makes the fire within me burn all the brighter. I think it helps my power. So, look at the shark's teeth. Pointy, pointy, pointy. They're gonna draw your blood. You might lose a limb. You're gonna be thrashing around in the water and attract more sharks. I want you to think about all of that and get really scared for me as you see the maw of the shark coming closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. Kaboom! Kaboom! And punch. 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 Squeeze, 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 punch. My elbow cracked just now. Punch. Good to get the cracks out now. Punch. Better now than later. Can I touch your face? I can tell you've never been punched before. It's like your cheekbones, your jawbone down here. There's absolutely no lumps or bumps on it, even the bridge of your nose. You have a little bit of a natural bump right there, but that's just your genetics, not any kind of scar, I don't think. What about your forehead? Nope, no lumps or bumps. How interesting it must be to have no enemies. I can't imagine. Punch, 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 punch. Okay. Now, I'm gonna practice with the hand wraps. This is really my preferred way of fighting because the gloves are just so bulky. But you know, if my enemies come with gloves, I will respect their rules for the fight that we're engaging in. Have you ever wrapped your hands for battle? I haven't in a couple years, so I might be a little bit rusty, but I think I still remember how to do it. Let's see. Around the wrist, around there, around the wrist again, and through the thumb place, I think. And then, oh, I think it goes down right here. Down, and then around the hand, and then around the knuckles, and then around the wrist, and then through the fingers, and then through the fingers, and then through the finger, and then in a little wrap around the palm, maybe again around the palm, and then around the back of the hand, back of the hand, back of the hand, and I'll just kind of bring it down my wrist so that it's nice and tight. Kaboom! This kind of punch will hurt you really, really badly because knuckles are sharp. Knuckles are like little bones in your hand, you know? They're like made for stabbing. I have a feeling there used to be old handed primates that just didn't have knuckles, and the ones with knuckles probably killed them all because knuckles are such good weapons for punching. If you hit hard enough, pretty much anything can be a stabbing weapon. Because stabbing is just like sharp bludgeoning. It's kind of soft. Do you want to touch it? You can feel how secure my wrist is. Wrapping your hand like this also protects your wrist. I know you don't have any enemies, but if anyone hears that you're my friend, you might have some enemies. So it's a good idea for me to teach you all this stuff, I think. Punch. 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 Let me make sure that hair's behind your ears. Very good. Punch. 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 Punch, punch, punch. Punch, punch, punch. Since I'm vegan, sometimes when I do this, I say fruit punch. Because I like to advocate for my beliefs. It's never a bad time for activism. It's also never a good time for activism. It's kind of one of those things like hunger. Hunger is a naturally unpleasant thing, but it is something that you must have. And in that same sense, activism is never pleasant, but it's something that you must have. I'm not hungry right now. My stomach just coincidentally made a noise right there. That had nothing to do with the hypothetical I just said. Punch, 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 punch. It might look like my fingers are losing circulation, but they're actually not. I'm like a naturally colorful person. So don't worry about my fingers, even though it looks like they're a little bit red. That's how they're supposed to be. Whenever I was a little bit younger, I had too much keratin, which is like the orange vitamin, and sometimes my hands looked orange. But as I've gotten not really older, because I don't think it had anything to do with aging, but the past couple years I haven't eaten as much orange, and so that's gone down substantially, but it really just got replaced by red or pink, like naked mole rat color. punch, 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 pow, 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 boop, 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 pow. Do you think, it makes me look more intimidating if I walk around with like a towel around my neck? Like I just came out of the dojo. The dojo? There is a dojo on my, that's what I should do. I think whenever my enemies come for me, I'm gonna go to the dojo. I don't have a membership there or anything, but I'm just gonna like exit the dojo with like this towel around my neck, and maybe I'll get someone to like dunk some water on my head so I look really sweaty, and I'll come out like, ugh, that was a good sparring session, boys. And then my enemies will be so intimidated by me. Do you want to help me stage that? Do you want to be like one of the people who I pretended to like maybe just spar, and maybe you can come out covered in blood? Yeah, that would be really helpful. I think that might intimidate my enemies a lot. I really like having a towel around my neck. It kind of reminds me of like being like a Viking with like a dead animal around my neck. And as a vegan, I would of course never do that, but I would definitely fantasize about it. I fantasize about not being vegan sometimes, you know, and having like just wearing animal skins and hunting gazelle and biting into them with my sharp teeth and ripping their trachea out of their throat and swallowing it whole. Sometimes I fantasize about that. Maybe I'm short on protein or something. Or maybe I'm just rearing for a fight. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell the difference between being a natural predator and just being like very creative and a little bit bored. It really is a struggle. Anyway, thank you for letting me practice with you. I really appreciate it. Here, let me wipe up your face a little bit. You look like you've been practice punched on. And, you know, you have such a precious, unpunchable face. I don't want anyone to get any ideas. I don't want you to have enemies. You're so pure, being a non-enemy having person. Except for sharks, I guess. The sharks seem to have it out for you. Maybe you should go take a nap before the moon rises.